So hello everyone, welcome back to my class. So today for chapter 6, we will be going through the part 2 of managing the conflict. So the objective for today, we will learn about mediating the conflict and the report on the workplace conflict. So we will have two parts. So mediating the conflict, and then we will need to understand how to write and report on the workplace conflict. So for the first part, mediating conflict. So what is the employee mediation? So what's the employee mediation? Employee mediation is confidential, informal, voluntary process where a neutral party helps to resolve a conflict. So it's allowed people to settle disputes and discuss the issues. A mediator can de-escalate problems and encourage the people involved to express the concern while respecting each other's views. So sign mediation favors open dialogue and different perspectives. It's particularly useful resolving interpersonal struggle between the co-workers. So when companies resolve disputes quickly, the company can avoid litigation costs and preserve relationship with the customer and the employees. So we have some steps to take the conflict mediation. So the mediation help leaders create a work environment that will allow the business to be successful and have the staff member thrive. It keeps disagreement from damaging the organization positive culture and harming the entire business. So we have the people involved sit down with the mediator to discuss the conflict. And the mediator describes the purpose of the mediation and its goals. And each person describes the view and the conflict without a comment or interruption from the other party. And the mediator gathered information by listening to the other side. And then the mediator looks for the common ground, identifies the issues, and help the party decide how to settle them together. So the mediator asks each participant to describe the action. So they would like to see the other party take. So all the parties reach an agreement and commit to making the change, need to resolve the conflict. So I will show you how to mediate conflict in the workplace. So firstly, to stay calm, empathize with the others and keep in mind that everyone has their own stress and the issues at work and at home. And then listen to understand. During the dispute, many people only listen to opponents so they can formulate the opposing agreement. If you listen to understand, you may realize that some of the other person's points are correct. Be tactful. So by helping people understand your perspective in a respectful way, you will be able to elicit a more receptive response from them. Focus on the future, not on the past. So instead of focusing on what went wrong or who should have to prevent a mistake. So talk about what can be done to solve the problem and keep it from happening again in the future. And then ask the right kind of the question. So if you want someone to answer you honestly, make sure they understand that you need to buy the answer and tell the person exactly why you're asking and put your intent first so they don't have to guess it. So pick your battles. So being defensive, arguing points that will not matter long-term can make people angry at each other and keep them from reaching a productive conflict resolution. And then offer multiple solutions. When possible, give people a choice between the several solutions. When people have more than one positive choice, they will feel more like to you and trying to help. Be creative and confident. So remember that all issues are negotiable. Brainstorm, come up with a creative resolution and consider an alternative. And then avoid the confrontation. Avoid all the confrontation between employees by resolving dispute before situation become urgent. And for the second part, we will have the report on the workplace conflict. So how to write a conflict management report. So identify the conflict. The first step, writing this on a report or presentation is to identify the conflict situation that you are addressing. So you need to provide some background information, like the parties involved, the nature and the history of the conflict. So the main issues and the interest and the impact of the conflict on the stakeholder or on your business organization. And then analyze the conflict. So write down the conflict. So management report or presentation is analyze the conflict situation. They're using the relevant theories, model, frameworks. You need to explain the cause and the consequence of the conflict, the dynamics and the importance of the interaction. So the source of the power and influence and the potential outcome and risk. So you also need to evaluate the strengths and the weaknesses of the current conflict. So you need to have the management strategy and practice, identify and the gap opportunities for improvement. So propose the solution. So the third step of the writing a conflict management report. So you need to present and justify the recommendations such as the goal and the objective, the action and the steps, the roles and the responsibility, the resource and the support, and the timeline and the evaluation. So you also need to address any potential challenge or barriers to implementing your solution and suggest ways to overcome them. Communicate effectively. So the first step, so we need to communicate effectively with your audience. So you need to tailor your report presentation or the report to suit the need and expectation of your audience, so such as their level of knowledge, so the interest, the concern, and the preferred style and format. So also need to use the clear, concise, and respectful language, and always invite the feedback. So invite the feedback from your audience. So you need to encourage your audience to ask questions, share their opinion, and provide a constructive criticism. You also need to listen actively, acknowledge like different perspectives, and respond appropriately. So how to write a conflict management report? So always to reflect and learn. So after all the steps, you need to reflect and learn from back what you have the conflict to move on and have the resolution. So thank you for your attention today. Today we did learn about the mediating conflict and the skill in writing a report on the workplace conflict. So see you in the next video. We will continue with the chapter 7, the mindset.